Hey, you know, there seems to be some conflicting information out there about how exactly to handle first interactions with women when you meet them, and even how to interact with women on first meetings. Well, guess what? We're going to put this quandary to rest once and for all. Don't go anywhere. Hey, this is Scott and McKay from X&Y Communications, where high-quality men come to deserve the most amazing women on earth. And I'm sure you've heard it before. When you ever meet a woman, you're supposed to let her do most of the talking. After all, Dale Carnegie himself said, hey, if you let someone else talk 90% of the time, and you talk to them for 10 minutes, at the end of that conversation, they're going to go, wow, you're the most amazing conversationalist. And I suppose that's true. But then you'll also hear somebody else giving dating advice say, here's what you really need to do. You need to become the most amazing storyteller. You need to be able to captivate an audience so that you'll be holding court wherever you go. Well, which is it? Do they talk all the time, or are you supposed to talk all the time, albeit with this wonderful, interesting story? Well, you know what? I'm going to say that there's a time and place for both of those wonderful ideas, but you know what the best idea is? To do what I call micro storytelling. Here's how it works. It's kind of a hybrid of those two other wonderful ideas. Sure, when you meet a woman, get her talking. You can say to her, hey, you know what? I'm interested in you. It seems like you like ballet. You have a ballet shirt. And she goes, oh yeah, you know, I used to dance ballet, and I do ballet now, and I teach kids ballet. It's really a wonderful thing. Well, what are you supposed to say to that? Tell me something else you do? Well, no, she started that conversation. Somehow you have to continue it. Continue it with a micro story. Here's how it works. Well, you know, I don't know much about ballet, but when I visited the Soviet Union back in 2006, I couldn't believe how cheap the tickets to the Bolshoi were, so I went. And the lady next to me told me that Maya Plashetskaya, the prima ballerina of all of Moscow's ballet, was actually dancing that night, and it was really rare. Now, how long was that story? It wasn't a huge story that was really drawn out. It was more a little micro story in response to what she had just told me. Isn't that great? Now, what that does is it allows her to feel that you're engaged and that you're interested and that you actually know something about what she's talking about without either dominating the conversation or leaving her out dangling in the wind. You can still be engaged. Now, here is the problem with doing that. The problem with doing that is you've got to make sure you're actually still continuing the conversation. Otherwise, if you open up another tangent, she's going to feel left out. Let me give you an example. Well, you know, I really like wine. I especially like Pinot Noir. How about you? And you say, huh, wine. I remember when I was in high school, I opened up a bottle of wine and guzzled the whole thing. I nearly died. I scared my best friend's dad to death. They didn't know what they were going to do with me, and, you know, I was really sick the next day afterwards. Well, besides that being a really gross story, it has nothing really to do with wine. What you've done is you've sort of, under the radar, changed the subject. That's not respecting her too much. So make sure you avoid that. But this whole idea of a micro story, showing her you're engaged by telling a little 20 to 30 second snippet. In fact, think of it as kind of like the length of a TV commercial or less. When you do that, you're going to find that your relationships, your conversations with women go much better. And by the way, if you find that you don't have a whole lot of micro stories to tell, you can always find something in your file cards of your imagination about what you know about what most anybody says. All you have to do is be ready for it and kind of train your mind to be triggered. It'll work. It'll work, I promise. Until I talk to you again real soon, this is Scott McKay from X&Y Communications. Be sure to get in on my newsletter at www.deservewhatyouwant, where I have even more tips for how to be a better man and how to get the women you want. Be good out there.